In the NBA, you can miss free throws, you can fumble Game 7, you can even get dunked on and live to fight another day. But there's one thing you don't survive: getting caught in the Kardashian current. She's dated rappers, she's dated reality stars, but in 2008, she found herself courtside next to a rising star, Rashad McCants. On paper, McCants had it all: ACC champion, lottery pick, the swagger of James Harden before James Harden. He was the next one up, a bucket waiting to be believed in. But then the lights got brighter. Khloé entered the picture, not as a distraction, but as a co-star. And just like that, McCants stopped being a player with a potential. He became Khloé Kardashian's boyfriend. Photo shoots, reality TV cameos, speculation, gossip. Every time he laced up, he wasn't just battling defenders, he was battling Google. That relationship took away everything I worked for, Rashad McCants years later. He didn't get injured, he didn't choke, he got erased. By 2010, Rashad McCants was out of the league, 25 years old, never got another shot. The man who once dropped 30 in the triangle became a footnote on E! Network. I lost 60 to 70 million because I chose the wrong girl. The world laughed, but inside the league, players were watching, and some whispered the same 3 words: Kardashian career killer. Some contracts get signed with ink, others get signed in headlines. At his best, Lamar Odom was a matchup nightmare. Too tall for guards, too skilled for bigs. A 6'10" point forward who made the Lakers a dynasty. He wasn't just a hooper, he was a connector, the piece that made everything flow. But off the court, the connection started to tangle. In 2009, Odom married Khloé Kardashian just 30 days after meeting her. A wedding fit for a fairy tale. But fairy tales don't have paparazzi in the bedroom. What started as love became a live broadcast. Every argument on screen. Every bad game speculated on by Hollywood gossip blogs. The man who once thrived in silence was now drowning in noise. Behind the scenes, the pain was mounting. Lamar had already lost his mother to cancer.
Yeah, my mom's passed away.
From colon cancer, right?
Yeah. I lost my best friend that day.
His grandmother passed. Then his infant son died of sudden infant death syndrome. And the more the cameras rolled, the less he healed. So he started coping the way too many do, with drugs, with parties, with escapes that never last. In 2015, the collapse came. Lamar Odom was found unconscious in a Las Vegas brothel. Cocaine, alcohol, Viagra, 12 seizures, kidney failure, 6 strokes. His heart stopped twice during the ordeal. I didn't just almost die, I was trying to. Lamar Odom. He came back, barely. But his game never did, and neither did the trust. Once a 6th man of the year, now a tragic cautionary tale. And Khloé, she was there at the hospital, but the damage had already been done. Some players lose a step. He lost himself. Miles Bridges wasn't supposed to be here. The headlines, the courtrooms, the shattered promise. Because Bridges wasn't just a hooper, he was a rapper, a persona, a brand. One part basketball, one part don't play with me. Drafted by the Hornets, he was supposed to be the future. Athletic, explosive, dropped 20 plus a night in his breakout year. Then came the offseason. The rap alias RTBMB, short for Real Trench Baby, and the lyrics filled with gang references, guns, drugs, threats. I'd be in the field like Lamar Jackson, still towed a ratchet, RTBMB. Miles Bridges was on the brink of stardom, dunking with violence, talking like a rapper, living like one too. But then the bars got louder and the silence at home got worse. June 2022, Bridges is arrested in Los Angeles, felony domestic violence. According to prosecutors, he assaulted the mother of his children in front of them. She posted the photos, bruises, swollen lips, a hospital report. The world watched in horror. The NBA went silent, and his contract vanished overnight. In November 2022, Bridges pleaded no contest to the charges. No jail time, but 3 years of probation. domestic violence counseling, and a protective order that kept him away from his family. Then came the suspension. The NBA handed him 30 games, 20 of which they considered already served. 10 more left to watch from the sideline. He returned to the court, but his reputation still sitting in the courtroom. October 2023, another incident. Bridges allegedly violates the protection order, accused of hurling billiard balls at his ex's car while their children sat inside. No charges filed, but another red flag waving high. Then, like nothing happened, he signs a $75 million deal with the Hornets in 2024. And just like that, the league handed him a contract, but never cleaned up the bloodstains. He didn't just beat the case, he beat the memory of it. Kevin Porter Jr. was gifted, lefty, shifty, explosive, a walking bucket when locked in. But what he couldn't lock down was his rage. Hotel room, New York City, September 2023. Potter's girlfriend, WNBA player Kaiser Gondrezick, was found bruised, bloodied, and terrified. The report said he punched her repeatedly, that she had a cut above her eye and a fractured neck vertebra. The police arrested him in his boxers. The charges were heavy, felony assault and strangulation. The NBA didn't wait. The Rockets told him to stay away, traded him. Then he was waived on arrival. His locker was gone before the dust settled. In January 2024, Porter took a deal, pled guilty to misdemeanor assault and harassment. No jail time if he followed the program, but the felony charges disappeared. What didn't? The memory, the reputation, the legacy burn. She didn't speak publicly, but the 911 call did. He kept hitting me. I told him to stop. I didn't think I'd make it out. Porter hasn't touched the league since. No workouts, no apologies, just radio silence and NBA blackballing. He went from a rising star to a walking reminder that talent never excuses trauma. He didn't just lose his contract, he lost control, and maybe that's what he feared most. Anthony Edwards is electric. The smile, the charisma, the game. He talks like a rapper, plays like a killer, carries himself like he was born to be that guy. He's the future of the league. But the future got messy fast, because in February 2025, Edwards' name got dragged off the stats sheet and into page 6. The screenshots dropped, unfiltered, unapologetic. Text where he told her he didn't want the baby, text where he offered money to end it. Text that read like a deal, not a decision. And this wasn't just anyone. This was Aisha Howard, a model, influencer, and mother to rapper Lil Baby's child. Public, recognizable, the kind of woman who doesn't just go away. She claimed he ghosted her, emotionally distant, disconnected from responsibility. And the internet split. Some said it was a private matter, others called him a coward. Edwards stayed quiet, no public statement, no denial, no defense. He just kept hooping, and maybe that's the scariest part. Because while some players spiral in public, others move ruthlessly through it all, leaving heartbreak and headlines in their wake. The league's cleanest face just got smudged. No charges, no lawsuits, but something deeper cracked. Not in his game, but in his legacy. Because when the lights dim and the sneakers are off, you don't get judged by how many points you scored. You get judged by who you were when no one was watching. The league won't suspend you for ghosting someone, but life will. Kevin Garnett was never quiet, not in practice, not in games, not in life. He screamed in defenders' faces, cursed in 3 different emotional octaves, carried his heart on his sleeve and his rage in his eyes. He was the alpha's alpha, but even wolves don't roar at home. They retreat, they reset. Except not always. In May 2025, news broke. Police had been called to Kevin Garnett's home. A domestic dispute with his longtime girlfriend, Khloé Kardashian. No one was arrested, no punches thrown, but the energy inside that house, ugly enough that the neighbors called 911. According to reports, the argument escalated. Garnett didn't hit her, but moved her aside with enough force to raise red flags. KG and Tier released a joint statement. It was an emotional moment that we both deeply regret. We are working through it together, in private. No charges, no interviews, just silence. But for fans who idolize KG's fire, this felt like a burn mark. Because when you play with that much heat, eventually it spills. And while the incident faded from headlines, the lessons lingered. Even legends break. Even intensity without control can become a weapon. The truth? We'll never know everything that happened that night, but we know this. If the police show up, the damage already did. Passion on the court made him a champion. Passion off the court almost cost him everything. Shaquille O'Neal was unstoppable, a 7-foot wrecking ball who broke rims, shattered backboards, and made grown men look like boys. He was larger than life, on the court, in the commercials, in the music, in the movies. He was everywhere. But while the world watched Shaq the legend, Shaquille the man was spiraling in silence. In 2007, he filed for divorce from his wife, Shaquille O'Neal, publicly, then blamed distance. The schedule, the usual. Privately, Shaq told the truth. It was all me. I was greedy. I had the perfect situation and I messed it up. No excuses, no spin, just brutal honesty. Shaq called it the Tiger lifestyle, an all-you-can-eat buffet of temptation, city after city, model after model, the kind of life rappers glorify, but the kind of life husbands don't survive. He cheated a lot. Not out of hate, but out of ego. I had everything, but I wanted more. That's where I failed. He lost Shawnee, he lost trust, he lost balance. And no amount of rings or Reebok deals could replace regret. He didn't end up in handcuffs, he didn't overdose, he didn't get canceled. But in his own words, I was the cause of my own downfall. The scariest part, Shaq didn't fall because someone drained him. He drained himself. He let the culture, the fame, and the fantasy cloud the reality of what mattered most. You can dominate the league and still lose the ones who loved you before the spotlight. They came into the league with wings, jumpers, handles, dreams. From project gyms to primetime arenas. And just when they started to fly, someone clipped them. Not all at once, not dramatically, not always with violence, but with drainage, little by little, through love, lust, lies, and the illusion that they had it all figured out. You see, the NBA doesn't have a woman problem. It doesn't have a rap problem. It has a control problem, because nobody's teaching these young stars how to guard their legacy. They're taught to hoop, not to heal. They know how to score, but not how to say no to something that looks beautiful but bites like a trap. They thought the enemy was the man in front of them. They never realized it was the baddie beside them. And this doc, it's not about blaming women, because sometimes it's the men who bring toxicity. It's not about demonizing love. It's about the chemistry between the two, what it produces. It's about patterns that keep bleeding into the box score and costing careers. We cheer them when they rise. We meme them when they fall. But no one ever asks, who's protecting these players from themselves? Some got played, some got exposed, some never got a second chance, but they all had one thing in common, the volatility that comes with messing with baddies.